The WNBA just witnessed its biggest power shift in history, and A'ja Wilson's career might never recover from what just happened. After months of throwing shade at Caitlin Clark and banking on her veteran status to keep her untouchable, Wilson just got the shock of her life when Team USA made their 2025 roster decisions. Sources inside USA Basketball are revealing that Wilson's toxic behavior toward Clark finally caught up with her in the most devastating way possible. The selection committee didn't just overlook her for the upcoming international camps, they completely restructured their evaluation process to prioritize character and adaptability over past achievements. What makes this even more shocking is that Clark, despite being sidelined with an ankle injury since early January 2025, still secured her spot in the national team pool, while Wilson got left out entirely. Before we dive into the explosive details of Wilson's reaction and what this means for the future of women's basketball, drop a comment below telling us if you think Wilson's attitude finally backfired on her. The timeline of Wilson's downfall started way before anyone realized what was happening. Throughout 2024, she consistently liked and shared posts that questioned Clark's impact on the WNBA, even as Clark was breaking attendance records and bringing unprecedented media attention to the league. Wilson's passive-aggressive comments about real basketball and earning your stripes became increasingly transparent as Clark's popularity soared. But here's what Wilson didn't know. Team USA officials were documenting every single interaction, every social media post, and every interview where she undermined the league's brightest star. The selection committee's decision goes deeper than just picking players for international competition. They're sending a clear message about what kind of athletes will represent American basketball moving forward. Wilson's game has a fundamental weakness that becomes glaringly obvious under FIBA rules. She averages nearly 12 free throw attempts per game in the WNBA because she's mastered the art of selling contact to referees. Every drive comes with theatrical flourishes designed to draw whistles. But international referees don't care about your MVP trophies or your reputation in the States. They let players battle through contact that would send Wilson to the line 10 times in a typical WNBA game. Meanwhile, Clark's game translates perfectly to any court in the world because she doesn't rely on favorable officiating. Her 30-foot bombs and step-back threes don't need referee intervention. She creates her own offense through pure skill rather than gaming the system. What happened next would shock everyone in the basketball world. When Wilson found out about her exclusion from the Team USA pool in late December 2024, sources say her reaction was nothing short of a complete meltdown. She immediately started making desperate phone calls to USA Basketball officials, demanding explanations and trying to leverage her past Olympic performances. Her representatives scrambled to set up emergency meetings with coaching staff members who had already moved on to evaluating the selected players. The irony burns even deeper when you realize that Clark, recovering from her ankle injury at home in Indiana, responded to her selection with typical grace and humility. She posted a simple thank you message without taking any shots at Wilson or anyone else who got left off the roster. But that wasn't the whole story of how this decision came to be. Team USA's scouting reports from international exhibitions over the past 2 years painted a concerning picture of Wilson's effectiveness against European and Australian competition. When FIBA officials let defenders play physical without constant interruptions, Wilson's scoring efficiency dropped by nearly 40%. Her entire offensive rhythm depends on getting to the free throw line to establish momentum. Without those guaranteed trips to the stripe, she struggles to find alternative ways to impact games. Clark's numbers, on the other hand, remained consistent regardless of officiating style because her game is built on creating space through footwork and shooting range, not through contact manipulation. The contrast becomes even more stark when you examine how both players handle adversity and team dynamics. Wilson spent the entire 2024 season creating unnecessary drama around Clark's success, turning what should have been a celebration for women's basketball into a petty competition for attention. She questioned whether Clark deserved Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year award, suggested that media coverage was unfair to veteran players, and consistently undermined the positive momentum Clark brought to the league. Team USA coaches value chemistry and professionalism above individual statistics, and Wilson's behavior demonstrated exactly the kind of toxic attitude that destroys locker rooms during high-pressure international tournaments. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated on all the latest WNBA drama and developments. The selection committee's decision reflects a broader shift in how USA Basketball evaluates talent for international competition. They're prioritizing players who can adapt to different playing styles, maintain their effectiveness under varying officiating conditions, and represent American basketball with class and dignity on the world stage. Wilson's dependence on specific WNBA officiating patterns makes her a liability in tournaments where games flow differently and physical play is encouraged rather than penalized. Clark's self-sufficient scoring and professional demeanor make her an ideal ambassador for American basketball, even while she's recovering from injury. What really sealed Wilson's fate was her response to being excluded from the roster. Instead of accepting the decision with grace and working to improve her international game, she went on a social media rampage that only confirmed the selection committee's concerns about her character. She posted cryptic messages about being disrespected and undervalued, liked comments attacking the coaching staff's competence, and even suggested that politics played a role in her exclusion. Meanwhile, other players who didn't make the cut responded professionally, congratulating those who were selected and expressing their commitment to earning future opportunities through hard work and improvement. The financial implications of this decision extend far beyond just missing out on international competition. Wilson's marketability has taken a massive hit as sponsors reassess their partnerships with an athlete who appears bitter and divisive rather than inspirational and unifying. Clark's injury hasn't diminished her commercial appeal at all. If anything, her professional handling of both success and setback has made her even more attractive to brands looking for authentic, positive representation. Wilson's camp is reportedly in damage control mode, trying to salvage endorsement deals that are suddenly looking shaky as her public image continues to deteriorate. But here's where the story takes an even more shocking turn. Internal sources from the Las Vegas Aces organization are revealing that Wilson's teammates have grown increasingly frustrated with her obsession over Clark's success. She reportedly spent team meetings complaining about media coverage, brought up Clark's achievements during film sessions that had nothing to do with Indiana, and created an uncomfortable environment where younger players felt pressured to take sides in a manufactured rivalry. The Aces coaching staff tried to address the situation privately, but Wilson's fixation on Clark became a genuine distraction that affected team chemistry during crucial stretches of the 2024 season. The selection committee also considered each player's potential impact on growing women's basketball globally. Clark's style of play, with its emphasis on exciting long-range shooting and creative passing, appeals to international audiences who might not traditionally follow American basketball. Her social media presence reaches millions of fans worldwide, bringing unprecedented attention to the women's game. Wilson's more traditional, contact-heavy style doesn't translate as well to highlight reels and viral moments that capture new fans' attention. Team USA recognized that having Clark on the roster, even while she recovers from injury, generates more global interest than Wilson's participation ever could. What makes this situation even more devastating for Wilson is the timing. At 31 years old, she's watching her window for international competition close while a new generation of players emerges. Clark, at just 23, has potentially another decade of representing Team USA ahead of her once she returns from injury. Sophie Cunningham, Clark's new teammate in Indiana after joining from Phoenix in late 2024, also received consideration for the national team pool, showing that USA Basketball is looking toward players who embody the future of the sport rather than clinging to the past. Wilson's attempts to control the narrative have backfired spectacularly. She tried floating stories about scheduling conflicts preventing her participation, claiming she needed to focus on WNBA preparation instead of international play. Nobody bought these transparent excuses, especially when she had previously stated that representing Team USA was her highest priority. Her representatives then pivoted to suggesting she was taking a voluntary break from international competition, but leaked communications showed she was desperately trying to get reinstated right up until the final roster announcements. The psychological impact on Wilson has been profound, according to those close to her. She built her entire identity around being the face of women's basketball, the undisputed best player who deserved universal recognition. Watching Clark achieve mainstream fame while playing a more modern, entertaining style of basketball shattered Wilson's worldview. Instead of adapting and evolving her game, she chose to attack and undermine, ultimately destroying her own reputation in the process. Sports psychologists observing the situation note that Wilson exhibits classic signs of narcissistic injury, the crushing blow to self-esteem that occurs when reality doesn't match an inflated self-image. Team USA's message couldn't be clearer about the future direction of women's basketball. They want players who elevate the entire sport, not just their individual statistics. They need athletes who can handle both success and adversity with grace, who support their peers even when competing for the same accolades. Clark embodies these qualities despite being just 3 years into her professional career. Wilson, with all her experience and achievements, somehow never learned these fundamental lessons about leadership and sportsmanship. The ripple effects of this decision will reshape the WNBA landscape for years to come. Young players entering the league now understand that toxic behavior toward teammates and competitors has real consequences, regardless of your statistical dominance. They see that professionalism and character matter just as much as on-court performance when it comes to the biggest opportunities in basketball. Wilson's downfall serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of jealousy and pettiness in professional sports. As we look ahead to the 2026 World Cup and 2028 Olympics, the contrast between Wilson's trajectory and Clark's couldn't be more dramatic. Clark will likely return from injury stronger than ever, leading Team USA into a new era of international dominance while expanding the sport's global reach. Wilson will be watching from home, her legacy forever tarnished by her inability to handle another player's success with grace. The woman who thought she owned women's basketball just learned that nobody is bigger than the game itself. The WNBA's new reality is one where character matters as much as championships, where building up the sport matters more than protecting your individual spotlight. Wilson had every opportunity to be part of this positive transformation, to mentor Clark and help grow women's basketball to unprecedented heights. Instead, she chose bitterness and jealousy, and now she's paying the ultimate price. Her exclusion from Team USA isn't just about missing a few international tournaments. It's about being left behind as women's basketball enters its most exciting era ever, an era that Clark will help define while Wilson becomes increasingly irrelevant.